right. Well, hi, I'm Mary Mix. I'm one of the pre-K teachers, along with my assistant, Grace Bowen. And
I'm Jeannette, the other pre-K 4 teacher. And my assistant is Julia Park. And we just have a little presentation for you today. My internet is a bit unstable, so we are gonna kind of work through it here.
do you want to share?
Yeah, why don't you share just
Okay.
in case I freeze?
Yeah, just in case. All right. Let me get full screen. Hold on, sorry.
And then I'm assuming everyone can hear us.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just get started. Our pre-K program is based on play. We value that as the most important tool of learning, and we take the children's cues when we're incorporating play. It develops vital cognitive, linguistic, social, and emotional skills. The children make discoveries, they build knowledge, they experiment with literacy and math, and they learn self-regulation and how to interact with others in socially appropriate ways. And we believe that play is learning. We believe play is unstructured play where the children take the lead in it, and the adults are the guides through their day. We give them supplies. We help them navigate some of the different things that they're in charge of. But we know that they're learning every single day through play.
And we follow themes kind of loosely in pre-K because, as Mary was saying, we really like to honor what the students are interested in at a certain time. But we do start off the year with All About Me and celebrating and honoring each other and our differences. Then we move on to family and friends, a lot of community building, and that kind of takes place all year. Then we start with fairy tales, and storytelling we do all year. Right now, we're actually talking about fairy tales. Then we will move on to winter and Earth and Earth Day. And then we kind of wrap up with the Chesapeake Bay. We study the Chesapeake Bay and the animals in the bay and all the wildlife around where we live.
And we are a school that views diversity, equity, inclusion as a important component of our day and our education. We celebrate diversity every day, not just during special holidays or special events, although those are good tools to help us get conversation going. But we celebrate diversity within our families, within our community, and within our children.
We focus a lot in pre-K on social emotional development. That's a big part of our curriculum. And again, that's all year long. Learning to listen to and respect others, building relationships, building a community, recognizing others' emotions, recognizing their own emotions and regulating them on their own, and working to solve conflicts with peers.
And our language arts component, we have got the theme of storytelling that we begin through at the very beginning of the year. Stories are told orally, and we know that in order to have a story or to feel like you are a good storyteller, you need to have an audience. And so the written language is the end product of storytelling. So we focus a lot on puppet shows and retelling of stories and acting out and dancing and singing. And we have just this multi-sensory approach to it, as well as we do a phonetic approach to, using our bodies and using all of our senses to teach language skills. We do handwriting without tears. That's our program for our fine motor skills. We build letters. We use little flip crayons. We incorporate yoga to help that core body strengthening, which is the key to having strong writing skills and endurance. We talk about active listening skills, and that's what I was saying, where we have audience members. That's just as important as the person telling the story. Listening to a story is important as well. And we do some things like visual discrimination and sequencing and storytelling as well.
In math, we focus a lot. Again, math happens every day with calendar and just things that come up throughout the day. We really work on number sense in pre-K, one-to-one correspondence, so counting, being able to count larger sets of items. We talk about geometry and spatial reasoning, so we talk about 2D and 3D shapes. We use non-standard units of measurement. So we might use paper clips to measure, a book, or cube blocks to measure a table. And we kind of talk about what that means and the language that goes along with that. We talk about patterns a lot. We do graphing every day. We graph our question of the day. We graph our weather, and we talk about how to read a graph, how to interpret the data. And we also work on problem solving skills all year.
And this is one of our classrooms. This is Mrs. Seipp's classroom. We've cleared things out a little bit to be COVID compliant. We have some plexiglass dividers on the tables. Each child has a cubby. There's a smart board. I don't know anything else, Mrs. Seipp. Do you have anything else to say about the classroom space?
Yeah, I was just going to say it looks a lot different this year than it used to look. And I do have students that kind of peek in the door and are very surprised at how kind of sparse it is, I guess, this year. But yeah, we have the cubbies there, and they're all kind of spaced out, and those plexiglass dividers, obviously that's not, that's just for this year in our current situation. But we do use the smart board a lot. We do still have different stations where, there's blocks and dollhouse and Legos, and we've utilized some outdoor space a lot more this year, right outside of our door. When you open it, we have a little Lego table and things out. But yeah.
And we use our playground. I'm not sure if you have been to campus. I think there was a tour. You guys got to see some of the campus space. We use the playground every single day, twice a day at least, and if not more. We have a magic forest on campus. We take the children down to do unstructured forest play, where they climb the trees and they look for worms. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful space that we use down there as well. So try to get outside as much as possible. If we were with our children, we would say, give a wave if you have a question, but we don't see people. So if you could just unmute and ask your question if you have one. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, I have a question. So it looks like you can choose between a half day or a full day program, if that's the case. Just curious if most kids do the half day or the full day, and how that works for transitioning.
Most children stay all day, but that is that option to leave at noon. If they stay all day, we have lunch together, and then we rest, and then we get up and go outside and play after that. So that's kind of the afternoon chunk of time. But I have a couple of children that leave, not every day. We have a couple of children that leave Monday and Friday at noon. So
The same.
Yeah.
I have the same this year. I would say most do stay until the 3 o'clock time. So they do the lunch and the rest with us, and then playtime in the afternoon. But the instructional stops at
noon.
Yeah.
I'll throw out one more question and then I'll stop.
No, go for it.
In terms of transitions in the beginning of the year, so we're actually moving from out of state, and I noticed that other classes, they come in at like groups of 12, and it sounded like for this group it was like 2 to 5 kids would potentially be new. How does it work for the new kids, and what are some of the things that are done perhaps in the beginning of the year to get to know the teacher and just get the student feeling comfortable and the family feeling comfortable with the new setting?
Well, every year is a new year for everyone. So we don't feel like that anyone is, at a disadvantage, but we start our year building that community. And that is the most important thing that we abide by, other than play, but it's all incorporated. But for those first 6 weeks of school, it's sacred that we're getting to know each and every child, and that they're getting to know each and every child, and we get to know families, and we know that we can trust each other and love each other and honor each other. And it's an immersion into building that community at the beginning of the year. So there's no worries on if you're new to the school. We have that covered.
And the classes are split every year too.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily just all moving up together at the same time. They mix from, I have students that were in 2 different classes last year, so they have all new friends every year. There's always a variety of friends that come in.
Terrific. That sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we are done, and you guys
Really quickly,
go for it.
in full in person, or are you hybrid, virtual and in person?
Well, did we start off fully? No, we
Hybrid.
started off hybrid. So we started off hybrid, and we have been for the past maybe 3 or 4 weeks fully in person. We are probably going to switch back to hybrid. It's a little bit up in the air right now. Everything that we do just depends on the metrics and what the county exec says and what the recommendations are from the health department.
And did you find the 4-year-olds are okay with a virtual, or do they get a little bit stir crazy sitting in front of a computer for too long?
We limit the stuff, we limit the activities, and we make sure that they're engaging activities. So, but it's tough. It's something new that we're all going through.
Yeah, and we try not to have too much screen time. Like, there's no reason that we think that 4-year-old should be sitting in front of a screen for 3 hours straight per day. But we do try to do smaller groups, which gives us gives them little breaks throughout the day. And like Mary said, engaging, trying to get them engaged online while they're at home by, doing scavenger hunts and I Spy games and, kind of teaching that way. But yeah, we're all still kind of getting used to it.
Right,
Each child has a school given iPad. I don't know if you had that information given to you, but this year all the children have an iPad, and we use a program called Seesaw, which is really nice. It's our communication tool, but it's also got, each child has a little journal page, a digital journal page that they can, take pictures, and we have activities that we can put on there, and they can communicate with each other on that as well. So it's nice.
All right. If nobody has any other questions, you are free to go. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed our presentation.
Have a good Saturday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.